Alrighty, YouTube, we are back with Ethan Tunstall for another technical session. I know a lot of you guys love these ones. Today, we're diving deep into the world of advanced top roll gripping. Now, this guy is a pain in the ass for me. I'll let him explain why, but trust me, he's a pain in the ass, especially out of straps. I just want to grip on, I just want to hold on, I want to beat his pronation and pin him, but it's not so simple. What do you do to piss me off so much, Ethan?
Well, the biggest thing for me is connection, and primarily Ryan's connection to my thumb through his fingers. So what I'm looking for is the right contact points. If he's too far around my thumb, I can't get my pronation away, I can't top roll him. But if he's shallow on my thumb, kind of like here, where he doesn't have a mass amount of purchase, I can isolate his fingers, peel them back, straight to the pin.
So, if you can see where my fingers are contact, at the moment I'm above his wrist joint. Above his wrist joint for me generally means I can put more posting threat in, which I try to scare Ethan off the idea of top rolling by posting. But when I have my fingers up here, are you confident or are you scared more? So
Confident, really confident.
So all right, let's say I'm gonna try to hook. I'm not gonna try to top roll.
Yep.
I'm gonna try to contain and hook from here. All right, when you're ready. It's not happening at all. Not happening at all. All right, so Ethan, if I come at you with a retracted thumb and I'm looking low, what are you doing then? And what are you more intimidated? Are you less intimidated? What are you thinking?
Well, if I'm looking to top roll, versus Ryan specifically, I can't from here. I can't get out of his fingers, can't get out of his hand. If I go back pressure, you can see how he is fully containing, and he can just drag me straight down. So in this circumstance, I actually find it better to come inside.
So do you come fully forward, or do you suggest as a top roller that they have kind of that half top roll / high hook option? Explain that to people.
So it depends on your strengths. If your biggest strength is pronation, then yeah, probably coming still inside that cup, but keeping your pronation in more of a high hook, great move. For me, pronation isn't my strongest point.
Try to top roll me from this grip. Let's see. Let's see how. And so we'll straighten up like we're in a.
Yep.
So I'm nice and low. Again, YouTube, you can see where I am now. I have two fingers in line with his wrist joint, actually on his wrist. And I'm no longer fighting for height now. As you can see, I'm not loading anymore at all. I'm just all wrist flexion from here, inside pressure. Yeah. So you can see the top roll really cancelled there. This time, hit for the top roll, but it's at the sense of your pronation limited. Show people how you would come forward.
Yeah.
And now from here, if I go to pin Ethan, his long arm prevents. I'm stuck on the back of the pad, and I actually can't get down pressure, and I can't get rotation because his bone angle is so against the grain of my rotation that I can't rotate and I can't drag. So you've achieved a stop using your biomechanics and the geometry of our arms relative to each other. Okay, so back to the top roll. What if I'm trying to slip against you?
Good.
So if I've come up high, which I know I can't hook from, but you don't want to get to the straps against me, so what's going through your mind on how to counter this and get the win right now?
More fingers, wrist flexion, and side pressure.
So when I post, you're not posting and pronating it at all, are you?
If I post and pronate,
We
just slip.
Yeah.
I won't be able to have enough to contain while posting and pronate.
Yeah. It'll just neutral. So because you've got the high ground, your wrist is not under as much stress as mine, so you can afford to put some effort straight over there. So if I'm just posting now, like go for it. You can see that if I'm just posting, he's got the sufficient fingers to contain it. But of course the risk of that is it was a decoy. You do that again, and I actually decided to hook. This is where it gets like, this is what makes the sport a beautiful combat sport, is that these little nuances you can use them as decoys and traps and dead spaces. If I was guaranteed to do what I felt like I was going to do, it'd be simple, but it's never so simple, is it? So the subtleties of how do you tell if I'm bluffing or I'm really going for the slip.
Well, sometimes if someone's overcommitting to a pressure, so
So
if Ryan's really, really turning it on,
I'm not hooking from here, am I?
no, he can't come in.
But if my shoulders were forward and I was posting, you'd be nervous, wouldn't you, about me trying to hook?
Yeah, I'm running. I would not.
Yeah, you wouldn't go side.
I'm running.
And you might actually, if I went for the hook and missed it, I'm in trouble then, and I would have to be like flop slipping at high pace or something, and I'm the one who's, because you saw it coming, you've taken the advantage once again. Nice. Alright, so what about if I low grip you, but I top roll pressure from here? This was a decoy into trying to get you to hook. And I know that if I just traditionally hook from down here, I can't pin you. But what if I low grip you and then actually use top roll pressure with you hooking? How does that look? Let's try it.
Let's try it.
Okay. So you can see I was able to get a pin because he came in. He wanted me to hook, but I didn't hook. It allowed me to get up into his hand and have sufficient side pressure. And he can stop my side if I'm down here. He can't stop my side if I'm up here. So again, that's another example of the bluff, how it can reward you if you bluff one way and then go the other way. End of the day, you and me in a comp, what are you doing? We've never faced in comp, but we will soon, I'm sure. If you and I come to the table out of straps, what are you doing? I know what I'm doing, but I'll tell you right now, I'm not trying to hold on. I'm going for the strap. It's too risky to hold on to you.
I can't stop you from going to the strap, so I know it's going to strap.
You don't think you can, even with that?
I think there's a bit too much
You know,
of a strength gap,
if I
but-
sensed, well, that is the deal.
Yeah.
There is a strength gap that makes it a little easier for me right now. But if I sensed you were going to punch straight away that way, I still would be too scared to try to hook. I still would be. Even though it's there to take, I'd be nervous because I know how quickly you can turn it to a low hand top roll. So even if you were doing that, I would probably low hand slip myself.
Yeah.
And I just brought up another point. If I'm posting and I feel Ethan crashing down, if I stay posting, I'm in trouble. But if I change instinctively, if I see him do that, if I change to a low hand top roll, I can either force his own, if he stays committed, his wrist will crack, or as you saw the first time, he'll change to the agreeable slip. So being ready to go from a posting top roll, crash again, to a low hand top roll is an insurance policy.
Yeah. But back to us in a comp.
Yeah.
If I was slightly closer, I would be wanting to initiate with fingers, cup, side pressure, hoping that I can somehow contain a bit of that pronation, get Ryan tempted to commit in, and as soon as I feel him slightly coming forward, I'm returning to a low hand top roll, just as you said. So
Anyway guys, I hope you got some advanced top roll gripping info out of that. There's a lot more to it than meets the eye. Don't for 1 second think that this is just a strength sport. I think it's more of a combat sport than anything. What do you think? You think more combat strength?
I think it is a combat sport that requires strength.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. Alright guys, see ya.
Yeah, that's a man!